Right now I'm passionate about bridge, maybe. My dog. Of course my husband, but that doesn't count because it's self-explanatory, okay? That just goes without saying, okay? But I'm very passionate about my bridge right now, but I used to, when we first were married, I didn't work. Dick didn't want me to work, so I was lonely in a little apartment, and I had a television, which I didn't know until I was married. I never had a TV until we were married. So I listened to the TV to learn more English. I learned how to sew because when I had my children, I wanted to make clothes for them, and I enjoyed doing that. Other passions, I tried to paint, but that didn't last very long because I had the kids. So I think, any other passions I had? Maybe, that's it.
That's it. I always say I had 5 passions.
Oh.
One was work, my wife, my family, my religion, and golf. Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
I'd say a perfect day for me would be get up and have my wife fix me a really nice breakfast. We would putter around the house doing little things. Then I would be off to play golf. And then after playing golf, come home and sit and have a cocktail with my wife.
That's right.
And discuss the day's events, and that's really what we do.
Yeah.
So that would be a day. Even a better day though than that is, and I think this is true always, is to be surrounded by your loved ones. I love it when we have Christmas and we're all together as a family. To me, that's the best time. I mean, you have some harsh words during that time sometimes, and people get their feelings hurt, but it's still good.
Having family around you is
still the best.
The best, yeah.
Besides my wife,
Lily, maybe, huh?
Well, for you it would be Lily. You know, that would be. The older I get, Alex, the possessions just don't mean that much.
You know?
I guess my most prized possession at this point would be the home that we bought in Ruidoso. I'm very proud of that place.
Yeah, that's true. That might be for you.
That's a very nice place.
Oh, no.
I'm a conservative, be a Republican or a Democrat. If they have conservative Christian ideas, then that is my ideal.
Yes, I feel the same way.
My favorite picture is the picture of she and I on our wedding day at the
church.
At the church, when we're coming out and we're talking to the sextant.
Sextant is what you call it.
Yes. And I have my top hat in my hand with my gloves, and I would have liked to have worn the top hat.
But it didn't fit?
But it didn't fit, so I had to carry it the whole time. My family.
Yeah.
Not that I had a lot to do with that, but at some point, I guess,
yes, you do.
At some point I had something, because if I taught my girls and my son something, they have passed that along to their kids. And so I think that that's the proudest accomplishment that I could ever have, is to point to my family and say, you know, there is my contribution to society.
Oh, I wouldn't change anything. I think I did.
We believe, well, I believed in corporal punishment. I know a lot of people don't believe in that. My son does not believe that with his children. And, you know, I don't think you have to have corporal punishment to properly raise a kid, but I think that you have to have some rules and discipline. And I think discipline is the main part of that. That if a person learns discipline, that's why I'm so much in favor of kids belonging to something, sports teams, the band, ROTC, fraternities, sororities, because in those areas that they have to have a certain amount of discipline, and I think that helps them, and that's one of the biggest things I think that you can carry forth into life is discipline, and it'll help you in everything you do. I was pretty harsh.
On your mother in particular?
On Missy more than I was Sharon, because Missy was a very headstrong child. Sharon would just say, yes.
Yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy, I'll do that. And then she'd go ahead and do what she wanted to do. But Missy would always want to fight on the issue. So I'd probably not use the belt as much as I did. But I'd still use it. Well, there's so many good books that would be a difficult thing.
I don't read many books these days, so.
That would really be difficult for me to answer.
Favorite movie?
I read a history book one time and then a fiction the next time, and then I alternate between those two. And I've just read some really good books. My favorite Broadway play is Les Miserables. And my favorite movie probably is Gone with the Wind.
Well, that's so old, yeah.
And that's favorite book. I'll have to think about that.
Well, we read the Bible. That's about the only one I read pretty regularly.
Three adjectives.
Yeah, just do one for...
Yeah, so like handsome or pretty or... Yeah? Is that an adjective? Yeah. Or lazy or industrious or something.
Are you through?
No.
I'd like to think that the present is thoughtful. The middle would be adventuresome.
Mm-hmm.
And the first would be spoiled.
Okay, and I would say the first would be, middle would be adventuresome for me too, well, before I got married. And the first one would be, I don't know, and the last one would be loyal. And that's it.
You know, I've thought about that. As you get older, you begin to think about things like that. And what I'd like to be remembered as is kind, loyal,
Loving.
and loving. But all of those things, it's just you want to be remembered by your family. I think as to there was somebody that that looked up to you, and that you were able to impart some kind of a knowledge and help give them a start in life. And yeah, God, that's a difficult question. But
I would want to be remembered as a good grandma.
a good grandma, a good Nina.
And a good Nina and a loving Nina, and yeah, and just, you know, nothing special, but good. Now that, I don't know how to answer that to you.
What's the meaning of life? I think the meaning of life,
so philosophical.
I think we are put on earth. If you're a Christian and have Christian beliefs, I think that part of the meaning of life is to live a life that is as close to Christ-like as you can, and as a result of that, to pass that on to your siblings and your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, to pass it on to other people that you're associated with, that they might live a better life.